Join me on a photo walk through the Bristol Renaissance Faire in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Happens every year around July to September. Been there quite a few times. This last year, really fun experience as usual. For photography, I wanted it as simple as possible. How could I do that? Well, I definitely have a smartphone with me, so I thought that'd be a nice option to try out, see how it works, and really get a nice mix of having a fun time plus the photography on the side. I did upgrade my phone relatively recently, so it seemed like a good opportunity to see how well this phone does in a situation like this with photography. This specific phone is a Moto G Stylus 5G. This phone has two camera modules that are important for this outing. The main one is a 48 megapixel f1.7 camera module. This is a pretty standard focal length, around 26mm equivalent. The second one is an ultra wide. I don't know the exact equivalent on there, but I can calculate it and put it on the screen. It's a 8 megapixel f2.2, so slower aperture, smaller sensor actually in the ultra wide camera module, but they both work pretty well depending on the situation. For the video setup, I was using a GoPro Hero 9 on a Peak Design leash strap. Really convenient setup just to get some B-roll so you can see what's actually happening when I take the photos. To start off, I did take some JPEG photos by accident, but this camera and the default app are capable of doing DNG RAW. I suggest always using RAW when you can, especially if your phone has a lot of storage. It's not going to be an issue if you do it in RAW. Conditions were mixed lighting with strong highlights, dark shadows. That's a real big challenge for any camera, and especially a smartphone. But I think it worked out okay. The phone was overexposing images by default, but that wasn't really something I could easily notice and tell out there when it's really bright out. My phone screen isn't especially bright itself, so that kind of exasperated the issue of not being able to tell that some of it was overexposed. However, I was using negative exposure compensation quite a bit. I felt like I needed to do it, so that was definitely a good help there. If you're going to do anything important with any type of camera, whether it's a smartphone or, a full DSLR, ILC, whatever, you want to use that camera, get a lot of practice with it, and understand how it works, understand how it'll do auto exposure. So in this case, this phone at the time was very new to me, and I was not totally sure what the output would be like. I think it worked out fine. It's just that I could definitely do better. I was able to recover a lot of the highlights in post-processing, but some were fully blown out, just how it goes sometimes. Nice thing is that RAW gives you a lot more options in editing, so you are at least able to pull down those highlights, see if there's any data in there. Part of the challenge with doing photography in these situations, especially I was with a group of friends and I want to focus on them. So with the photography, it was more of a side thing that I could do on off time, and we were moving around quite a bit. So in some situations, I might get a little bit of extra blur or something if I take a quick photo, especially with the smartphone camera. It's not going to be great in high-speed situations, but it will work if you learn how to use it well. The main benefit of a smartphone is the convenience, so you just have to deal with some potential issues with a small camera like that. It's probably one of the larger Renaissance fairs around, so there is a lot to see and do and photograph. Buildings have a unique charm to them, so they're great subjects for photography. There's so many little detailed things you'll see around, and you can easily photograph that. Photography can change your mindset and give you the idea to look for little details, look for little things, try to notice stuff that you might not otherwise. When you're in that photographer mode, you've got that special type of focus. So that way you can actually sometimes experience unique and interesting things through photography. There are many vendors at this Renaissance Fair with a multitude of different items of various types on display. Of course, you can buy stuff or you can photograph it. I think this is a great opportunity for people that love to take photos of little trinkets and everything around. In my case, I saw some dragons that I think are used to hold D&D dice. Those look really cute. Took a quick photo of that. And also a lot of clothes and things that are very interesting and very expensive. So many options. Oh, and little dragon puppets, I think they are, some type of creature. Not totally sure, but those are super cute. The fair hires people to wear period clothing and interact with attendees. There are a bunch of them around, some at the stores, some just walking around doing their thing. So you can easily talk to them, take their photo. It's a great opportunity for anyone that is interested in people photography. If you don't have many options in your everyday life to do people photography, but you want to do it, Renaissance Fair is a great way to experience that and get some practice in. Though sometimes the people in costumes are actually the attendees, and they're just as friendly, just as gracious when you ask them for a photo. Very similar to people at anime and sci-fi conventions, which I also go to. General crowd photos are a great option for photography. You can capture the atmosphere, go more of a documentary style. I really love that style of photography, so I tend to do that quite a bit. If that's not enough, there are many food and drink options to explore, eating it and drinking it, but also taking photos of it. I have my usual go-to options, such as this crepe with the ice cream and the chocolate sauce. What can I say? I love events like this, spending time with friends, the atmosphere, the events itself inside the event, like the jousting, which we actually didn't go to this year. But anyways, the food, that too, and also photography in my case. Never been to one of these Renaissance fairs, I suggest checking it out. You don't always need to go extreme with your photography equipment. I think it's great to find a balance a lot of the time. In this case, using a smartphone for the photography side of things. A situation like this really worked out well for me. My phone isn't anything special. It's not like one of those flagship phones, but it works. Anyways, I'm Scott Photography Bonsai. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.